Do you know and understand what your limits are? Building proper boundaries with others is something that nobody teaches us growing up. However, it is a very valuable skill to building healthy relationships and also taking care of yourself. Setting boundaries is part of defining your personality and also showing or telling others what you can take and what you won't take, whether on a personal or professional level. Some advantages of setting healthy boundaries are good emotional health, good mental health, and avoidance of burnout. And I think we need that, right? On the opposite, some consequences of not setting healthy boundaries often include stress, financial burden, wasting time, and also relationship issues, which actually can cause mental issues. Now that we understood the importance and the advantages and disadvantages of setting healthy boundaries, I want to talk about people pleasing. When we put others' needs above ours and we want to avoid conflict, we are a people pleaser. When we want to be liked, or we change our behavior to fit another person's mood or demands, we are a people pleaser. And when we have a low self-esteem and we think that the approval of others is what will make us happy, we are a people pleaser. People pleasing gets in the way of setting healthy boundaries. It becomes a self-sabotaging obstacle in our growth journey, and that's why it's important to be aware of it and to understand how it works and how to stop being a people pleaser. Now, let's get into the meat of this video. Okay, how do we set boundaries, Fatima? Now that I know what kind of, people pleaser is and why it's very important to set healthy boundaries. Number one is defining what are healthy boundaries for you. You know that clarity is always the first step, whether it's my methodology or whether in life, because if you don't know what you don't know, it's gonna be very, very hard to get there. So get clear, get a piece of paper, a pen, and write down, okay, what you can take and what you can't take, regarding relationship. Step number two, asking yourself questions. You know that I love that, as a coach and as a person, I feel like asking ourselves questions is so underrated because it really gets us unstuck of a situation or a thinking process. There are two questions that you can ask yourself. Is this good for me? Be real with yourself, right? If there is a specific demand, before you want to say yes, ask yourself this question. And the second question that you can ask yourself is, should I do this right now? Because, a lot of time, I know that you said yes and you had like a ton of things to do. So, for example, if you know that tomorrow you have an exam, for example, you will understand what to say because you know that you have an exam, and if you want to respect your boundaries, if your friends come and see you say, hey, let's hang out tonight, you know what to say, right? To respect your boundaries. So it's very clear, can I do this? Should I do this right now? Step number three, say no. And before we jump into explaining why it's really important to learn how to say no, let's practice. Hey, Fatima, can you cover Saturday afternoon for me? No, I can't. No, it's not possible. No, I can't make it Saturday. When we start to say no, we start to feel uncomfortable, okay? Most of us, we start to feel uncomfortable. And one of the reasons why it's the case is that the people pleaser in us starts to creep in and say, oh my gosh. Now, when you start to feel uncomfortable, please don't justify yourself, okay? So again, that's another people pleaser, low self-esteem type of, behavior. So the thing is, don't justify yourself. A no is a no. And to make it more natural, to make it, less uncomfortable, you just need to practice. So practice saying no in front of the mirror, okay? Practice saying no to, different demands that people do, to you and say to you. So just do that. Practice. And you know that practice makes progress. Step number four, share it with others. Okay, can we stop expecting people to read minds? I mean, if anybody has this superpower, please let me know. I want it too, okay? So people don't know what your thoughts are made of, okay? And what are your boundaries if you don't show them. So in order to really make sure that you're teaching people how to treat you, you gotta be clear with them. Communication, So share your boundaries with others, what they can ask you and what they can't. Step number five, define why these boundaries are important for you. You know, when I talk about inner motivation is so important because external motivation will not, help you keep your discipline alive. Okay, you need this inner motivation and you need reminders to understand why you're doing this, why you're saying no, why you're communicating, a specific thing to people. And the thing is, you have to be clear also on what would happen if these boundaries are failed to be respected. Okay, so that's also important. What are the consequences, okay, for you, so you can learn to build your confidence and learn to build your self-discipline? What will happen if these are not respected? Okay, I got some news for you. You will fail many times before you get it right, but that's just the life and the reality of personal growth, because you really need time, a lot of kindness to yourself to really change your past default self. So now I hope you understood that setting boundaries in your life must be a priority. Setting boundaries is not about limiting yourself, it's really putting yourself first and also trying and working towards living your best life. Now check these videos on confidence, because again, we're talking about confidence this month and I'm sharing many different tools to boost your confidence on a daily basis. You know that it's not impossible, it is possible. It just requires you to take action. To the next video, get focused, get clarity, and get started to live your best life. Bye.